Hey folks, all right, we're going to do some more Eberron cartography production here today. Give me a second here to check my signal. I'll get through my spiel, and then we'll just dive into this for a couple hours. We'll just mic check. We'll just mic check. All right, that sounds good. All right, hey. Great. So if you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. So if you want to find out when I'm live in the future, you can follow me on Twitter at PhilCurnian. In addition to that, like, subscribe, hit the bell, keep updated on what I got going on here. I go live. You can find out about it on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe so that YouTube knows that people like this stuff. What are we doing anyway? We are creating PDF documents that publish to DMsGuild regarding the construction of 5e tabletop RPGs. And so give me another moment here. I'm just punching across Discord, then I'm up and running. But yeah, there's a description down in the description down below. There is a list of different links that of content that I produced on DMsGuild. All the work that I produce and publish is 100% preview, so you can click on the eye if you're on mobile, or click the full preview underneath the cover photo of each product page if you are on a browser, and you can just go ahead and thumb through all the books cover to cover. If it's a good demonstration of like the kind of artwork we produce, the layouts that we do, the type of mechanics that we write, and so go ahead and kick through that stuff to see 120 some odd different illustrations, and just to see the kind of work that I do. And if you like any of it, please make a purchase. If you ever find yourself going back to look at it again because you wanted to just take a look at it again, it's a good indication that it's worth your time. So pick that stuff up to support me, the amount of time that we invest in the artwork. Right now we've been building this, here's the book cover for the Crystals of Mabar, the 8th level, for adventure teams in Eberron of 5 of 7th level or 4 of 8th level, roughly 28 to 32 levels worth of characters to run inside of this adventure. We have the initial manuscript that we sent it off to Stuart Braz, our editor, and he's been churning through that and kicking back responses to us. And while that process is happening largely off screen right now, we've been producing the art assets, the book cover, obviously here that we created like around episode 45, I think. And then right now we're working on a slew of maps. This is the 4th map that we're looking to complete. We'll have one significant map of roughly this scale that will have the Thorpe that's at the very beginning of the adventure. And then after that, we just have a few vignettes to do, like some farmhouses, some random gazebos, a copse of trees, like just some rando stuff, small scale, much less of a lift. So once, so we're making this map currently, and once we complete that process, we get to do it again with another map. So stick around. We're going to do this for a couple hours. Just keep making map content until all the components that you need are going to be available for you. When you purchase the adventure, you'll have all these download options for you to get all the art assets, all the combat tokens, all the things that go along with a good adventure content for you to be able to run, of course, in Eberron. So I'm on hard ramble mode here. Apparently, I'm pretty damn tired. I'll admit. Didn't get much sleep last night, but them's the yokes. So let's see if I can 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to we're just gonna dig into this for a couple hours, see where it gets us. Just keep moving forward. As long as we're pushing pixels, we're doing okay. We're using a 4-pixel round brush. Very simple. We're just doing outlines right now. To enclose these spaces so that we can properly texture each environment, each wall piece. check the last episode that we ran, episode 98, for a more current walkthrough of the different areas inside this map and how they affect the characters and all that blah blah. We went in a little bit more detail about that last week. The previous session, 98, we're on episode 99 now. That's amazing. But yeah, the closer we are to the Nexus here, the more these walls, the environment gets corrupted. So what was pretty straightforward jaggedy jiggedy lines like this, jaggedy jiggedy, we're breaking it down to corrode them. And they'll have an opportunity to go back and decorate this a little bit more with like all the crystals and stuff like that we have like on the top side entrance and in the upstairs map, just a little bit more intense down here. So I just want to make sure we get the cartography right, just the basic line structure right, where you can and can't go, the obstacles, the board limits. So once we have that, once we have those spaces defined, it's pretty easy just to be able to fill in texture and just interesting content beyond that. Just, yeah, texture is the word I'm looking for. All this texture and stuff is we're going to replace that with crystals, ground crystals that we established in the previous maps, sort of language there. So I don't want to add into the space like that. Right now, I only want to break down and take away, because the default material used in these structures is stone, which can be worn down much easier than metal can. So we want to pock this stuff out, depending on which area is being most affected by the corrosive mist that's saturating the area. So it's starting to fatigue the stone. So we can have minor fatigue here to indicate different areas. I want to have that a lot less. Doesn't have to be significant. But these will be neat little pockets to stick a bunch of crystal in, as well as Lotharia. Keep people away from the walls to lessen the amount of space they have to maneuver to avoid people in the thick fog. Like if you think you're going to be able to get away from being noticed by things by skirting close to a wall just to get outside of the visibility range because of the 20-foot. Things that basically have 20 foot vision is limited to 20 feet because of the obscuring nature of the mist. These are the words I'm trying to say. So the tunnels being 20 feet wide themselves isn't very useful because under normal circumstances you'd be able to see that full width. But as we fatigue these walls down, you can see that you could potentially squeeze into these 5-foot spaces. Hey, Hornetico, and avoid being seen. But these are these broadened areas are perfect for us to put Lotharia in. Lotharia vulpina is a toxic moss that grows throughout the environment. And if you walk in, if you enter or start your turn in a space that is sharing the Vulpina, then it acts as a stinking cloud spell, and you have to make a Constitution saving throw or lose your action and become sickened until you leave the space. So if you use these little pockets to try to avoid being seen through the dense mist, you are risking a Constitution saving throw to not get sickened and automatically give away your position. So that's a fun little damn you if you try sort of effect. That I think is pretty cool. Actually, I want to take this. How you doing, my man? I have the day off, so I have an opportunity to be on stream a lot. I'm gonna put in at least 2 hours here, and if I'm liking how it's feeling, I'll put in another hour. I've got at least 2 hours I'm gonna put into martial powers today at lunchtime. Starting in, oh my god, I need an alarm. In about 6 hours, I'll do about 2, maybe 3 hours worth of martial powers development. And then this evening, we're going to come back and we're going to do some more Spelljammer stuff. And I honestly don't know what Spelljammer stuff we're going to do right now. We have layouts to do. We have a map to complete. We have some creature tokens to finish, as well as ship tokens and some fightercraft deck plans. So, and not to mention all the diagrams and chart conversions and stuff like that go into that goes into layouts proper. So I've got a lot on my plate, but honestly, all these things they all got to get done eventually. So whatever it is that inspires me most is what I should do right now. And if we just keep moving forward, we'll eventually run out of things on our list. And when we run out of things on our list, it's time to publish. So I'm in the thick of it. I'm like in the deep thick of it, where so much of the project has been prepped that it's really on me to how fast can I get it done at this point. So that is a source of stress for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do this. Oh, hey, doing all right. Currently doing some more post practice. Yeah, right on, man. A friend of mine over the weekend asked me to do just basically a pencil sketch of one of his WoW characters, a goblin artillerist of some sort. But the reason I bring it up is because of just noticing my own tendencies on when I'm doing figure drawing and gesturing and stuff like that is making sure that like the shoulders, the hips, and the feet all kind of work together. Like you have to have the angles of the body. They have to have their posture work together at those 4 points. The hips and the knees have to work together, but the hips, knees, and the feet are all connected in a movement. And you have the spine that can rotate to make the shoulders do something different from the hips. But where your hips are angling is going to affect your feet. So it's really interesting that just to do a quick thing here, you got a person, right? Hello. Right. So if you've got this, so you've got your shoulders, you got your hips, you've got your knees, and you got your feet. And so if your hips are doing like this, so you're going this way, right? And you have your hips going this way, because like maybe you're doing like a side shot like this, like so your body is, so your arm is lined up over your hips. Your hips are the foot that you have, and the knees are going to have to transition from the direction of your hip to your knees to your feet, and your feet is going to point in the direction of where your shoulders are pointing the weapon. So it's interesting because these things like wrap around. this is something I want to continue to experiment and observe, is that like the hips and the knees have to work together, the knees and the feet have to work together, but for your character to stay on balance and have focus and direction, the feet and the shoulders have to work together. But the shoulders and the hips don't necessarily have to be working together. You know what I mean? This is something I'm going to spend some time exploring. I think when we get into character art inside either this or the next book. And that's just something that popped in my head, that I put a footnote to myself to start paying attention to. Like, how are those 4 points of rotation and center of gravity working together on a body? So I thought I'd spit it out. Since you're talking about gesturing, maybe you'll get ahead of me in observations. But I thought I'd just put that out there as a challenge for you to consider while you're doing stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm finding the less I pay attention to that initial weight and center of gravity and like the momentum of the piece, the less I pay attention to it, the more likely I am to end up changing it further down the road. So like taking the time to really suss out where I'm wanting, like literally where I want that character to go is super important for me to not end up wasting a shitload of time. So I thought I'd share. Isn't it just fall over? Yeah. Or like if the feet and the knees and the hips aren't properly aligned, it's like that guy's standing on broken ankles, you know, because like they're twisted out of socket the wrong way. That's like a really common disconnect that people have when they're still sorting out anatomy, is making sure that they're using the proper foreshortening and language for feet and knees working with the hips, and that they're like you'll see like chicks that can show off their tits and their ass at the same time, is because their spine is twisted 50 degrees. It's like, that girl is horribly wounded. You need to take her to the hospital. Absolutely. But I mean, these are all things that I think all of us have to struggle through. The like different, like kind of how all 5e content producers try to make a better ranger. We're all trying to draw better feet, you know. But I'm like, I still don't know what language I want to use for. I'm really mincing on this for like absolutely no reason whatsoever. I'm gonna get the hell out of that. Move over to here. Much more corroded over here. It's fun. I like breaking these things down. It's just really, aging structures on maps is very satisfying. It's like a sort of uncoloring book, I guess, is a way of putting it. The revised asteroid map for the Theurgy hunt is coming along very nicely. At this point, we have we're just texturing. We're just doing color texture and lighting. I'm happy with the forms. I'm happy with the DCs. I'm happy with the how the map is oriented. I think it's a fun little challenge, and I am really, really thinking about expanding on it once the Spelljammer book gets dropped. Like taking 15 pages and like buffing out who all these creatures are and what their go-to tactics are in general, just to make it more of an encounter kit than just a single encounter. Like, this is how Theurgy pirates act. Here's some go-to strategies if they're going to ambush a ship, that sort of stuff. I kind of want to do that, which was, the point of building these toolkits in the first place, was so I could do things like that. I'm excited that I'm inspired to move forward with that. Like, that's a good indication on where I need to be on this project, because I'm excited about doing more with it than what I've allowed the scope to be. So we'll see where that ends up. But God, we still have probably a couple months of production in front of us for all of these things. So fight my way through them as I can. That's right. These places have been very, very much terraformed and affected. So I want to do this. Like that. At this point, it doesn't even really matter what the walls were previously. It's just kind of fuckered up. Yeah, I want to maintain that. The show. I don't notice that one as much, unfortunately, because for medical reasons, almost every joint in my body can twist about 180 degrees without issue. So I'm used to weird posing possibilities. Fair. Well, then obviously you shouldn't be your own reference. That's just, the project is working. As I said, yeah. If it doesn't spark ideas, and it's doing a good job. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, very kind words, man. Very, very kind words. The problem is I have so many flagship books that I want to build right now. Flagship generally is a term I refer to any like core or source book that you produce that motivates or provides base rules to be able to build other things on top of it. So like the Spelljammer Combat Exploration book is very much a flagship for other Spelljammer and Astral adventures, creatures, combat encounters, whatever, right? Just like the Color Mana books are a flagship for character expression using the Color Mana paradigm. And but like this adventure is specifically not a flagship. This is like I've said, an example of the random adventure generator that we were working on. That we just kept trying. We had so many examples in the book that we had to keep making up. It's like it's better for us just to make an adventure that we could use as a thorough example, like as a consistent example throughout that toolkit that we can point to, and then bundle this with that toolkit since they're literally built together. So, the adventure toolkit would be the flagship, and then this and any other adventure that we produce thereafter would be expansions or tack-ons to that flagship. So it's got to stay Eberron. Eberron and like Curse of Strahd, and to an extent Strixhaven are like the big go-tos on being able to sell content on DMsGuild that have a pretty steady following that are always willing to absorb more information for. But Strixhaven more so DM's tools and background stuff than like character options. It's very much a mechanical focus. I imagine Keys of the Golden Vault will be similar with to Strixhaven, where it's a genre, like it's a genre of game, like setting or intention. That doesn't really require a lot of character specifics, but it does have a lot of mechanical language about like how do you express this environment, how do you do a heist. I don't think Keys of the Golden Vault is out yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm obviously not very motivated to track that one right now. It's I guess my own form of protest against WotC is I'm only buying books I actually have an immediate use for now. Like, if I'm going to make money off of this book, I'll buy it, but otherwise, I'm probably not going to. So, until I actually I won't start doing heist missions until the Guilds and Kingdoms book is published, so that we have resources with which to heist, or to, like, you can, once we have the resource system established, we can heist either using resources to perform heists, or we can perform heists to take resources. So it'll open up another path for like why would you have your characters on a heist mission at all. Well, you can, get these resources for your own organization. Like the keys to the Golden Vault, I guess, is like some sort of interdimensional do-gooder organization, which kind of curves into Planescape. I think I'll be amazed if they actually think like that. They should be thinking about that. They should be thinking about every book that they publish. They should be thinking of as a flagship. And how do they interconnect into a larger D&D multiverse? They don't think that way. And they really, really should. Or at least if they do think that way, it's only hinted at and guessed. It should be glaringly obvious that these books are all relevant to each other. And the more of them that you purchase, the further down the rabbit hole you can go. But they stand alone. And you don't have to feel pressured to pick up Strixhaven if you don't want to. But if you do, then it's going to lead you to X, Y, and Z that we're having production right now. So far, I haven't seen D&D. I haven't seen Wizards think that way, and it would really benefit them if they did, to start merging worlds together instead of dividing them up, which was the TSR flaw that they had: disconnected worlds, where you couldn't see a logical path where they would integrate for you to make more use of all of them. So, which is why I really think they need to have an MTG role-playing game to unify the Ravenloft or the Ravnica and the Strix and the Theros and all the other 40 some odd different worlds that they have throughout the card game. But anyway, I think grand scale. So I don't know why other people that have established IPs don't think that way, but that's the kind of shit that I look for. Have a high scheme that you run the home table on and off, but it's using the masterminds as its rule system, so I'm not sure how useful keys to the Golden Vault will be. Probably not much at all. Hey man, how you doing? Just tuning in for a few minutes. How is it going? My dude, it is going really well. We're building out the underground map. We had the loose, sloppy language. We're now applying, professional shit. So we've really, over the past month or so, we've really established strong language for how we want these maps to appear, and it's working out really well. So, but yeah, man, it's good for you to drift by. Thank you. So we'll be back in 6 hours for a couple for like 2 or more hours of martial power text development. We're working with Beholder and the Ancient Dragon, giving them kits of power, and maybe we're going to mess around some more with magic items, like creating magic items just to show how they get made. And then from there, I took some time this weekend when I was couch surfing to clean up some of the language in the Martial Powers book, so that it's like just consistently having creatures make saving throws at the end of their turn, as opposed to maybe beginning, maybe the end. Like just like little small quality of life things like that. The vast core of that book, I am incredibly satisfied, but I'm also concerned about having it come out of manuscript into edits, because I already have, like 240 pages that I'm in the process of resolving right now between this and the Spelljammer book. So I really don't need to add another 50 to my plate right now. It's just not going to get gotten to. So I'm taking this opportunity to like super slow cook that Martial Powers book, so that when both of these books are roll off production into publishing, then I'll have an open plate for me to work specifically on Martial Powers, as well as I'll probably start reapproaching Armies, Guilds, and Kingdoms at that time, or maybe just Armies and Kingdoms. I'm not sure. Durzazad had a really good observation that I could probably just fold guilds into the overall resource command structure and not specifically differentiate it as like you following different commands or like following different protocols for guilds, since they're essentially identical to how communities are the procedures for running a community are almost the exact same. So why differentiate between the two? It's a damn fine point. So still working on that, but it's also absorbing a very, very small amount of my bandwidth right now. Like most of my emotional focus is specifically on this book and the Spelljammer production. So I can't really dive in and let Muse build new paths of unifying those two resource systems, but I see that it's possible. It's possible. So once we actually get into it, it should turn into something of equal quality to these other things that we're building. I'm just having a real industrial revolution in my own, a development revolution inside my own game space. So I'm really happy about that. I'm gonna reset that clock, take a sip of coffee. So we have that sealed off. Let's work this wall over here. And we'll fill this place up with abominations and horrors. But I have to create our own tokens for each of the creatures. It's rough across here. Not have the 20-foot corridor that the team should be used to at this point by the time they get here. And this just trails off into Mabar. I'm just going to seal this space in, and I'm going to go back through and clean it up with better language. I just want to knock this thing down real quick, and then I can zoom in and I can fret over specific details, but I want to make sure I have markable progress here by just drawing through this stuff like that. Just like that. Sorry if I'm kind of making some word salad over here. I am tired. Sometimes I just don't have the privilege of sleeping at night, and I feel like I got like maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Probably not even. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take that like 2 or 3 is most probable. Whew, but I had a lot of energy moving through me last night, so it felt like I guess you could say it was nourishing sleep, but I didn't have the opportunity to dream a lot. That's for sure. So my body feels like it got rested, but my mind doesn't. So it's kind of a crapshoot there. I'm gonna laugh when we come through and start putting in the crystals. I can already tell that the shape of so many of these ridges like fit exactly the shape of the crystal fractal brush that we use. Here, I'll show you. Here's a brush that we use. Look, it just fits. 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 It's just another testament about how the curves that my style of art just naturally uses lines up with the type of brushes that I create. You just have all these things just fit together just seamlessly into these gaps. It's going to be honestly a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun building this when we get to that. But I was just geeking out over that for a moment. Yeah, we're starting to have some corrosion over here. See what? Very mild. Like this stuff is like all ate up, so I'm gonna have to eat up some of this wool here. Really shouldn't fret over that too much right now. Something like that. Thanks, man. I appreciate you hanging out. Sorry I don't have much talk going on. Just, you know, doing the job. But, man, you have a fantastic day. Thanks for being here. Oh, yeah, we gotta build over here still. Started fatiguing everything. That was a mistake. We can do this. Also good. Merge down. Good. That is good. Get up to here where it starts to fatigue. About here. Yeah, so fatiguing the wall here. It's a subtle detail, but if the players catch wind of it, it'll be a huge personal victory for them to be able to connect the fatigue that the walls are taking that align with where the air freshener, the air veins are located in the facility, indicating where the plague mist can and can't get to in the clean area versus the dirtier areas, and how the stonework fatigues as it's exposed to the mist effect more often. I hope that is a subtle detail that some player somewhere at some point picks up on and thinks is pretty cool, because that would make me feel proud. Raining here in Seattle today. Happy about that. Love hearing the rain come down on the on the windows and the roof. It's very relaxing. I know you can't hear it. It's quiet. I want to kind of limit this curvy line effect here. I don't want to have a lot of that present here. I don't feel like the stone would fatigue in a gentle curve. I feel like it's jagged, kind of like crystals. It takes chunks out of it at a time and creates a rough surface. So that's the kind of language that I want to establish. Sorry, I'm adjusting myself in my seat. Which is why I just doodled it in really quickly. I knew I'd come in to build the thing after the fact, after I just got the general lines down. The quick lines was easy to just help establish the space and basically just to create a perimeter for us to fight against, either to complement or override. Just the ability to veto a line that you create, especially in cartography like this, is super useful. To just let yourself just throw down something to make progress, and then replace it with more conscious decision. I think it allows like for that second look without feeling like you've wasted any real time. It's because he kicked it in so slapdash that it has to get fixed anyway. So it's kind of the intent there. If that makes any sense. My gal's now hooked on Last of Us, the HBO show. That's a testimony to how quality of an apocalypse TV show it is. She's a logic hound. She loses suspension of disbelief super easy. So you have to have a lot of internal logic and cohesion in your storyline for her to be on board at all. And like we're what 6 episodes into that show now, and she's super on board. It's just an apocalypse show, of course. There's going to be flaws, but for the most part, it's pretty self-referencing and doesn't outright contradict itself too much. So it's decent writing. I think writing is kind of like good artists. There's enough of an internal library of like how things work, so that just like you're operating within the laws of physics because you just understand how reality just works, which I think is a problem that we might be having with hiring so many young writers and screenwriters, is that they just don't understand basic physics or like basic anatomy or like all just the basic STEM, just basic arts and sciences and engineering and mechanics, like building that library of just internal knowledge, just like base default information about how things work, kind of just feeds into how you narrate stuff or like how you come up with solutions to problems. Because if you don't understand how like material weight works, you may have your character peeling through steel or breaking through a wall like a lot easier than they're supposed to be able to do if they aren't somehow superhuman. Like fight scenes, like being able to take 100 hits, or like a 7'2" guy clobbering a 5' chick and her ignoring it as though she were some sort of trained boxer. Just basic, when what you're doing contradicts reality, but you haven't established anything inside of the story that would explain how contradicting reality is the logical conclusion of where the scene is going. Like when that cohesion isn't there, you just easily lose audience. So like understanding how a silo works is kind of important to the encounter that we have in the village when undead are sifting through the grain inside of a grain silo. Like you gotta understand how the spigot works and how it gets fed in from the top, and how you don't bag it until it comes out of the silo. So those basic physics are kind of important. If you don't know how that stuff works, you may have a silo that's more of like a grain store. It's different. You gotta know the difference in that shit. Just to pick a random topic, I guess, for no reason. Oh, that's what it was. The reason I was talking about it is because Miguel has a liking for this show, which means that its internal narrative and its logic is built well enough for her to not ask why the hell could that happen. That's actually a very positive testimony. Hip. Good start. Keep it going because it's snowing. And actually, we might actually get snow this week. 7 o'clock. Holy crap, we're doing great. Hey, there we go. Last curve, more jag. There we go. Yeah, I got my tired on, you can tell. Not rambling on about whatever hell is exciting me at the moment. It's a good indication that I am tired. I can feel my brain burning already. I'm probably gonna have to take a nap. So we'll see how long I go. I got at least another hour in me. But I want to make sure, I do want to make sure I'm well rested for the lunch stream. Man, there's some rogue energy moving through me today. I can feel it. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not making much for the talkie-talkie today. If this is your first time here, this is a quiet episode. So thanks a lot for sticking around, just checking out what we got going on. I do this every day and normally talk a lot more than I am right now. Monday through Saturday in the mornings like this, as well as Monday lunchtime. And Mondays and Thursday nights as well. So we're streaming a good nine times a week, something like that. So then obviously I have a lot of production time that I try to invest off screen as well. Because I can't be on all the time, otherwise you burn out. Got to be able to listen to Led Zeppelin and stuff without being demonetized. So that requires off time. But all these things are coming along. It's I'm really pleased with the progress that we're making. It's a very slow grind, and that makes me feel guilty about how long it takes to do stuff. But I am very pleased with the results. So very, very, very pleased. I can't really knock myself too hard for how long it takes. It takes whatever time it takes. Don't have a lot of control over that variable. I'm feeling pretty happy about this guy. Jeez, I am feeling pretty happy here. So we're gonna be getting into more specifics here pretty soon. Happy with that. You can get through these areas, but it requires squeezing if you're medium size, but it's just difficult terrain and penalty. It'll get you in, it's just difficult to get out. So far, so good. So what, man? Where is the right and wrong here? Hold on. Let's do that. Let's see where we're at. Is that the only... Feels more like trash than anything else. I'm gonna drop it down here. See if I can just get that out of the way. Feels on point. I obviously have to fix this. We were talking about that, but that's okay. I can fix it. Doesn't look that bad right now. It's a little sloppy, but that's where things are supposed to be. I don't know what my problem was. This isn't actually that bad. Let's see. Oh yeah, toads. Let's duplicate this. Here, you can see all of that. Hide, drop it down to here. Bottom stuff still is relevant. That's fun. All right, let's mess with this for a little bit. I'm gonna focus on this for now. Nice. Yes. This will help clean up that language a little bit from upstairs to here. Binge watched through the second season of Vox Machina yesterday. Pretty sure it's over for the season, I guess. It feels like a legit cliffhanger. I don't think they have more planned for the year, but it's super good, super fun. Highly recommend. Love the visual language that they have in that anime. It's just multiple times I found myself just saying, yeah, good solution. Like the way that they visualize stuff just looks good. A really strong understanding of just how D&D like kind of works. Thank you, Timely Timer. Keeping time. It feels better now. Push that up to like what, a 40%? 40% strength. That should be strong enough for me to be able to push this stuff around. These. There's breach. Boy, oh boy, am I gonna go find that breach? Maybe. Might be a good idea for me to do that. So I'm gonna go breach hunting here real quick, see if I can find a gap. Close it up. Gap hunting. Probably way over by the top side entrance. I suspect is where the actual problem is at. But I'm going to go through the process of checking my perimeter everywhere because it's a good exercise to perform. It's a little tedious, but welcome to the world of cartography. I'm going to hit save since we're talking about tedium. Oh yeah, it's got to be by the topside entrance. There's that circle. The elevator shaft that isn't actually fused to the shape of the frame. So that's probably an easy place for me to go and fix all of this. But like I said, this is a worthwhile exercise. Oh, yep, there's a gap. See, that would have flooded us up. Nice job. Devolved into the concept art of a mock-up select screen. The muse takes you where she wants you to go. You can't front on that. Good, looking good, looking good. God, it's garbage. Look at that crap language. Like that. Here we go. Jeez, just some of those lines are just... You can tell I get tired because the lines become sloppier and more curved out and less texture driven. And the sloppy lines don't match up correctly. There you go. This would be a good day for me to go to a buffet, get some pizza and hot and sour soup. Nom nom. Not a bad day for a buffet. I think I'll order teriyaki today. Do-do-do-do. Those curves, got to reduce those curves down. This is just not the proper place to express those. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey there, buddy. Wrong color. Sport. Oh, there's a gap. That one would cause infinite marching ants. What? Oh God, I'm still making my way around that room. Jesus Christ. Oh God, just what a slow feed stream today, guys. I am super down with talking about something interesting. Just don't ask me to generate the talking point right now, because I don't think I have the mental capacity. I will definitely take a nap. I don't want to. I need to be able to burn through conversation during the lunch stream today. So I think what I will do, I think I'm going to cut this out in about maybe 20 some odd minutes. Let this run till 8 o'clock like a usual stream, so I can go maybe catch a couple hours, jump back into this at lunchtime for a few hours as well for the powers, and just make sure I have a strong foot forward. There's no reason for me to bash my head against a rock if I'm exhausted. So just a pain in the tuchus. almost completed our circuit. Like I said, it's not very, this isn't very romantic or exotic at all, but it is cleaning up the wall language, making it sure that it looks the way that we want it to look, which is actually really important. Hey there, timely timer. Let's keep it going. I got another 20 some odd minutes left of me for the time being. I'm gonna spend a good chunk of time today, maybe like 4 or 5 hours today, God willing, 4 or 5 hours to clean up a good half, like a good 30 some odd pages of post-edit production for this adventure that Stuart Bros has come back with. Like a lot of his stuff is like, you know, like italics or bold or like change at to through and stuff like that, like very like grammatical error stuff. But he is also really good at like actually reading the content that he's editing and asking questions like, this doesn't, like, it seems like he'd be quieter here, or this seems like a spot that have less visibility than the text is implying. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? And like very active, very active participant in the production process of making sure that the logic is flowing smoothly. And it's just that's a good piece, man. Ross is doing serious work. So I get to spend a chunk of time today going through and approving the lighter hanging fruit like italics and stuff like that, and then start formulating plans for answers to fix the flaws that exist, and to get Andy on board with me maybe on Thursday to process through some of that stuff. I'm not sure. It depends on what his schedule is looking like, what we can pull off. Oh my God, it's contained now. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, it's not. Interesting that it's contained over here, though. So this is a solid block. We have going here. And it's save while I can, because my scroll erase, or my scroll tool tends to lock stuff down. Here. How's it, what? How's it do? I don't understand why that doesn't work. isn't that? What the hell's going on? That's how come. If that fixes it, we're gonna be looking really good here. Yeah, oh my god, did that fix it? Nope, didn't fix over here. Fuck all. Why is that? Oh! Hello. Ooh, that fixed it. All right. Why am I doing this? Because I want to take all of that and put it into a separate bit. So now we have a water layer, and we have a wall layer. So we're back to our normal production. So we can DW. Color. Nice. All right, right back into it. And now we can theoretically do stuff like this. Make it clean. So super easy here. Super freaking easy moving forward. This is where we wanted to get to. This is exactly what I wanted to be doing right now. God, I'm happy about this. Ner. No, there we go. Just like that. Icked. There we go. This should go okay. Arr! Wrong button, Kearney. Let's do that instead. Derp. Dirt. There we go. There, like that. I need to finish these up. I was concerned that being able to fix this this terrain would be difficult, but it turns out it was super easy. Barely an inconvenience. So thrilling. No real lost production time. I mean, I'll need to go back through and clean up the fort map a little bit to coincide with this, but that's pretty freaking easy lifting compared to this. So God, that looks so good. Looks so cool. Look how freaking cool that is. Oh. So now we get to fill in the water here, and we can start doing all this blurbly stuff that we've been doing on the other maps all throughout here. Where does it go to? Environmental stuff. Like this is the area that we get the blue out. Well, I guess it's technically already blued out, so I could just use that, but I feel like I want to go over it again. Yeah, no kidding, right? It's been worth the effort. It's been such a fucking heavy lift, but the texture turned out really, really nicely on all of it. So it'll be fun to dive back into here and start blurbling all that stuff up too. So I think I'm gonna just kind of mince step in here for a little while. I know I have that blue wash that I could just dump in here, but I want to have it as a separate layer. So I want to delete that other layer. So I could cut and paste it, but my gut's just telling me to do it like this. This area is flooded, so you can get access by squeezing through this space. And super fun. Such a cool map. I'm really, really just pleased with how all this visual language has been turning out. Big step for me. I know that no matter what happens in the RPG industry at this point, I could probably safely go into map production, probably eke out some cash doing that. So it's not where my passion's at right now. But like, fuck, I love making maps. It was very inspiring to be able to get into this work process and be able to produce this sort of stuff. It's just, I never made professional maps in color before, and it's just been a very liberating experience for me to be able to recognize that I can actually do it. I feel like I want to go to here. Yeah. Maybe the heater. Good. Something like that. Uh-oh, that's not gonna work. So we get some breaks. There, wait. All right, so what we flub up in here? Let's get into that. Bob, there. Fix this. Yep, that's an easy break right there. I looked over the weekend at DMsGuild, and it is just absolutely flooded with Roll20 conversions. I keep beating myself up over how long it takes, but like if I had released anything this week, it would have just been swallowed by just a bunch of like mithril, platinum, and adamantine layer metal products that are just now getting onto Roll20, and it's like I wouldn't have stood a chance this weekend. Like I keep finding little graces that it's like no, you taking your time and having these things released is a good idea because this and this and this just happened. So I keep doubting the timing on stuff, like I'm doing something wrong, and the universe keeps trying to say, dude, don't sweat it. What you're doing is freaking fantastic. And I just don't want to believe it. And I think that's where a lot of my source of imposter syndrome came in last week, is that me misapplying stress towards what I think is supposed to be happening, what what do I owe to my collaborators to get these things done in the first place, co-writers and editors, and just no one is really pressuring me on finishing stuff. Just people asking, how are we doing, where are we at, what's the plan? Just because I think honestly, I think out of anything, it's just curiosity, like what's the next step in the process. So I feel relieved and disbelief at the same time. So I am trying to convince myself there's nothing wrong, that everything is going according to plan, that I couldn't do it any better, that the work is what the work is, and that's kind of what I just always concerned that allies that I get involved in the project with me to help me collaborate just don't see the scope of the project and so become concerned about how long it's taking. But it's like all these, like there's so many assets that go into producing a actual product, like a solid piece that you can stand behind, that's going to provide all the technical stuff that you need to make it frickin' work, plus be aesthetically pleasing at the same time. Like, just, it's a huge lift. And I think most of the people that I'm working with have been around the block a few dozen times, so I don't think I have any reason to question, as long as I just keep moving forward with stuff. But it's always a concern that I'm being like when I bring people into a project, I'm always concerned that I've wasted their time. That's where the imposter syndrome comes in. It's like, this is taking so long. I'm afraid I'm disappointing people that I look up to. I generally at this stage in my production cycle, like the stuff that I'm producing, what am I trying to say? I'm at a place where the stuff that I'm producing is interesting enough that people are just interested in what it is. And I've just started getting a strong enough track record in producing work that I can attract interest from heavier hitters than me. People are above me that are willing to invest their time and effort into producing things that are my ideas. And so that's where I feel like I have to live up to stuff. But I also know that if I can stay on this path, maybe like around 2026, I will hopefully have established enough content production that I can start lifting up people with less experience than me, that I'll be a solid enough content producer that I know the steps, and I can lead newcomers through the process and lead them to a successful result. Like what I want to get to is a place where when I build something and I publish it, it's gonna sell 100 of them without even thinking about it, or God willing, enough time that if I publish something, it'll immediately sell 1,000 copies. You know, I don't know how much work or how long I'm going to have to work or what I have to change about myself to get to that point, but I feel like it's possible. If I can get to a place where I can sell 1,000 copies of just any idea that I produce because people believe in the content that I produce, then that is where I can get to a place where if anyone invests in my efforts, that they will get results, that they will be rewarded for investing with me. Right now, it's still a gamble, but my proposals are strong enough that people that are higher caliber than me are willing to invest their effort to help make sure they land, which really sets me up in the future for being able to lift other people as well. Like I'm just kind of pontificating at this point, but I'm really hopeful. There's another disconnect. See how sloppy that is? That's why going through this process is important. But yeah, God, I mean, I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to take the time. I just hope that other people see what I'm trying to do and believe in the work so that I can keep pulling in stronger people. I don't know. You know, it's hope. I just have hope. much work has gone into this project. I only found the streams around part 34. Right on, dude. Yeah, I mean, we'll hit episode 100 tomorrow. So, but I mean, like, we haven't even done any of the tokens and the interior artwork. But there's so much. Like, once this map is done, like when we start actually going through each of the sections, like I can have a map that's like this, like inside these dotted lines, this is the only portion of the map I would need to show on the page that's talking about this specific room. And that's an image element. So taking the time to build out all these maps properly up front allows me to really reduce the amount of interior illustrations I need to produce. I can limit them down to just keynote things where it'd be useful to have an illustration of what the Nexus looks like. It'd be useful to have an idea of like what a tunnel looks like, or like what the Tree of Woe looks like, or the different monsters that we have. But once these maps are done, like from page after page after page, there's going to be a map illustration on each of them, and that is sufficient enough that all we would have to do then is just have like little 8th or even 16th page spot illustrations down in the corner of like what does an air turbine look like, or like what does a pile of crystals look like, or like Volpina, or like what is the workbench that the alchemists are working on converting the crystals into necrotic spell components, like just like little spot things that I can hammer through in like an hour, and then still have a 3-hour stream and like pop, knock down 3 illustrations and move on to the next thing. Like, I think that's where we're going to get with this. So like all this just massive upfront context is it's going to end up just make it real easy for us to just cut, paste, drop things into the book. So I'm excited about that. Like it won't be that it's a huge lift up front, but the back end is just going to be so much stronger as a result of all that effort up front. It'll be worth it. Totally going to be worth it. Did that work yet? Nope. I still have. See, look, there's another gap over here. Just got to keep picking at it. Where did I leave off? I feel like it was over here somewhere. Way. But just being able to cut up the map assets into little spot illustrations to correspond with whatever adventure, like the technical language for that particular room. Just that alone is just going to look so freaking good with the page dressing and the margin filigree and the background watermark texturing. It's gonna look good. I can already see it. I mean, like the little specific lines I don't see yet. I leave that to the muse to go wherever she wants to on the page. But I know what that looks like. I know I've done that repeatedly now with different products. Like there's multiple links down in my descriptions, like the Theurgy book, Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica, and all the Color Mana books that I have down there. There's like a good 8 examples of different pieces that I produced, and I'm getting pretty good at being able to fill this space and have a decent balance between just white noise for the eye to relax mixed in with chart and illustration elements. I think I'm getting pretty good at balancing that on a page. So I suspect this is going to be a stronger, like both these projects we're working on right now, I think are just going to be stronger than the previous pieces. I've really had an opportunity to sit back and analyze how these things look, and hopefully I'll be able to point out some of these processes when we get into the actual, like getting into more into the page layouts of the books. So we started up the Spelljammer layouts on Saturday, and we're going to be like all the creature and ship tokens that we're doing. Like all those creature tokens, those are all illustrations I can just drop in the book on top of being actual tokens in the game. So like you see the token, it's going to correspond with the image that's in the book. It's super easy for people to be able to correlate that information when they have it. But it's just a shitload of illustrations that are already being resolved that I don't have to worry about when we actually get into the layouts of the book. So again, it's we're really lightening our lift, and like with all the ship tokens that we're producing, that is going to make it really easy for us to be able to make ship versus ship diagrams of showing how things move. So all I really got to do is drop in a grid map and then use some of those tokens and use arrows to point how things are moving around. It's going to be really, really easy to be able to start building those assets once we have the rest of the ships and the creature tokens constructed. So again, it's a huge upfront lift, but it's providing us all these relevant assets that we can then go in and build with. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. Like that 120-page Spelljammer book, I might only need to make maybe 15 additional illustrations throughout it, like some helms, like an orrery station, maybe like some asteroid belt stuff, some space environmental pictures. Like I won't need to do a crap load of illustrations to finish out the book. That's exciting. That is so exciting. Like the color mana spell point variant rules that I have, like it is just pure character mechanics, like 100%. So the amount of character and environmental and weapon illustrations that I needed in those books was huge, because it didn't have extensive assets that were included with it. Like it has color mana tokens and a mana playmat to make spell point, like using spell points with the system, like way easier. But that's barely any content to include as illustrations. So I had to just lift every fucking illustration. So whenever I look at a project, I think, God, I'm going to need like 30 illustrations. That's going to murder me. It's like, well, I've already got like 40 assets to use instead. So I'm just really starting to realize how much all of this past few months of asset production is really just feeding into the back end of it. Again, like doing all the hard work up front, so that when we just put it all together, it's much easier to complete the project. So by the time I get done with the page layouts and I load all these pre-built assets into it, at that point I'm just looking for flavor. Like, where can I squeeze some flavor into this page? Does that make sense or not? And then that just becomes a fresh new creative experience with whatever space is available that can't afford to have white space for us. Like it's too light. I need something here, you know? That's sort of another gap. That kind of language. I'm legitimately excited about getting to that point. But I have to finish all these pre-built assets and all the maps and stuff so that it can feed into it, so I can get an honest read of how much illustration is going to actually be necessary at this point. And by gods, just excited. Just excited. This is the wrong language for this, actually. This is curving that way, that's curving that way. This needs to curve into nothing. So I can leave this like that. But my default stance when I look at something is like the core rule, like the 75-page core rule book with just an absolute crap ton of like 80 illustrations in it, just a crap ton. Just the image per page density in that book is just insane. And I did that. I mean, that was the goal. I wanted to do just an insane lift of an illustration book, and that just happened to be the one that I did. But that built me with this preset of, God, how much, like, remembering how much work that took to produce that. And I've only just started to realize that all of that effort is being produced right now. And it's like, I didn't connect those dots at the time, but it's starting to click into place. It's like, man, you're really, really doing fun. Like, this is going to be a really fun project to suss out and put together. So anyway, geeking out about it, but it's legitimately exciting to see how different this process is with the amount of assets that are necessary. I've never these are the first books I've built that require this amount of assets just to make the thing run, and how useful those really are. It's really cool to be able to, like, when you're the illustrator and the creator of a project, how you can make all the visual assets like just work together with what you're building. It's super cool. And this is still super broken. What the deuce, dude? Anyway, geeking out about that for a little bit, so hopefully folks are along for the ride. But god damn, this is gonna be I am building things I never thought I was going to build. It's just the scope and the scale and the depth of quality that we're starting to assemble with these things is just so much more than I thought I was going to be doing. I'm legitimately proud of where this craft is taking me. So, will I build my own RPG? I've got some cool mechanics I've been brewing up, so if I ever get to it, I've got some neat ideas to go with, but I don't know. I've still got easily a couple years worth of content that I can build off of what we've been doing here that I think is worth it, whether on my Patreon or I'm backed into the DMsGuild directly, or don't know. I suspect where I'm at right now with my own RPG design idea is that I wouldn't be using D20s at all anymore. It'd be on a scale of, like, difficulty would be on a scale of 1 to 10, and it'd be using different, like, as your characters gain levels, they would upgrade to different dice. And so, like, a 1 is like if you try it, you'll automatically succeed. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being automatically successful and a 10 being almost impossible. Using dice that scale from like a D6 to a D12, your character's not going to be able to pull off impossible tasks until, you know, you're rolling a D10, which puts a fun cap on the power levels that you have. And so, like, you can keep characters inside of a lower tier campaign where the impossible is impossible. It's like, if you want to stay like gritty, you can stay like with a D6 or a D8 and still have a scale of 1 to 10 for impossibility. So you can control your genre by how miraculous your characters are capable of executing options. And so that's super vague, and I know, because the system itself is still pretty vague. But I've got some cool ideas about action economy and group initiative. There's I'll need to when I have more bandwidth and I get some projects off my plate, maybe I'll be far enough along inside my head about where that RPG is that maybe I could do a Kickstarter about it by like 2028. I don't think anyone's going to be. Again, I think my design ideas are far enough off of least common denominator logic that the ideas that I come up with will feel fresh and innovative, but hopefully familiar at the same time. Just reimagining how difficulty, risk, and scaling can work together in a game environment. Anyway, super vague there, I know, but in time, if it feels right, I will invest time building that out. Not my current endeavor. I've got too much fun still building, still fixing D&D. I gotta say though, I'm pretty excited about how this whole OGL Creator Commons situation worked out, because Wizards has really stuck their chin out is like legitimately having to compete with the larger community. There is a very low key swagger when you think that through. Like we put this thing out there for everyone to use. You can completely ignore 1D&D if you want to. It's now on them to make 1D&D so compelling, not as just like a fucking video game environment, but like mechanically, a compelling mechanical system that's better than 5e, to the point where people want to use that as the next evolution of what 5e was. If they're going to say it's an extension of 5e, it is going to have to be notably better than what it is currently, as far as either balance wise or how smoothly the mechanics work or are intuitive, so that people are going to want to stay. Well, there's a huge gap right there. Are going to want to stay in the Wizard's wheelhouse. So I gotta respect them for that. I don't know if they realize they're going to be sticking their neck on a chopping block like that when they decided it. But I mean, the obvious aftermath is they are competing against their own 5e product right now. And I am legitimately interested in seeing, like, they kind of have to make more bold decisions now. They can't just pussyfoot around with some just like little tweaks here and there. They really gotta build something strong. It's gonna make people go, this is impressive. We should be exploring this. And I hope that's where it lands. I want Wizards to do well. And if this is the kick in the ass that they needed to start like seriously investing in quality, then God bless everybody involved. It all worked out perfectly, but we won't see until they get back into it. I think they're just about ready to be over the OGL debacle. I would not be surprised if we don't see any new 1D&D content until after the movie. But I'm not always on point as far as their marketing schema is concerned. So I think my creative instincts are a lot better than my business instincts as far as RPGs are concerned. I think I'm almost done for the day. I want to complete this wall, make sure it's sealed up right, drop in the water layer properly, and then we'll walk away for the day. And when we come back tomorrow, we can start building dirty water. Another gap. Jeez, McCrow. That's how I'm tired when I was working on this. I'm getting tired now, too. Doing lines like this is fatiguing. It legit takes, like, effort. Like, actual effort. Did I complete my course? Looks, nope. Round and round I go. Like things like this, I can tell. Like this little jag here, I can tell I haven't worked here before. I'm trying to figure out like where did I start? And actually, I started over here. So you can see like a considerable difference in language as we get along here. Like this is more curvy and slapdashy as opposed to over here. And, well, in my opinion, anyway. But I can tell that I'm getting fatigued here, so stopping soon is going to make a lot of sense because I'm not going to be able to produce much better work for a while. I have apparently there's map muscles, and I have yet to build them. But you know, I'm new to this cartography thing, so I'll be able to build that endurance over time if I keep at this sort of stuff. Very, very different from the normal type of illustrations that I do. Very fun, very satisfying though. I like the different mode. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Getting tired, I can tell. See, God, no. No. There. Almost there. Super close. Trying to intentionally make this considerably rougher. Then, like, say over here, it becomes more and more stable until we have like just solid masonry, like worked masonry. And then it just slowly corrodes as you move further and further into this area over here and into here. It becomes just absolute chopped terrain. So I have to focus on breaking these objects up, like to have this significantly choppier language with less smoothness to it, so that the texture of the environment itself will hopefully provide will inform the characters of the trouble that they're getting into, you know. Almost there. Good. See, you can tell I'm getting tired because I'm making broader, longer strokes that are more curved in nature, less choppy, because that chop requires energy, and I don't have a lot left. The fatigue is setting in, so you can tell the language is getting weaker, which probably means I'll end up going through and doing some of it again. But I'm okay with that. God, it's so weak. Nope. Good. At this point, I think I've completed my lap. There. That feels pretty good. Look at that. So that, okay, great. Now we have our water space defined. So we get to layer the same sort of water effects that we had produced in the other maps when we come back. Checking my lines, making sure everyone's square for now. Everyone is square for now. So cool. I'm going to... I think I'm going to call it for now. Probably a good place to stop. But we'll be able to put in cobblestones, crystal grit, Vulpina, put in some obstacles around in the upper corner up here. Like, I need to have obstacles in here so this passage isn't obvious, so it gets missed. So I'm gonna have to fill this in with rubble and stuff that becomes difficult terrain for you know, creatures to crawl through or whatever, so you can escape through the graveyard and get away without being noticed if you're lucky. We'll have to break this down. I need to fix this room here so it lines up with these stairs here. Get that stair language fixed. Build a separate layer for all of the doors that are throughout here. But honestly, there's not a ton of, I mean, like, all the heavy lifting we've done already. So it shouldn't take too long for us to be able to build out that wall language. We'll see. I mean, it'll probably end up taking longer than I think it's going to, but I can see where it's going to be. And we have almost all the line language that we need down for the black and white. And once we do that, then it will just be, you know, pouring in the color and we'll be good to go. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with where we are at on this project right now. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut stream right now. I'm going to be back in 4 hours for us to do the Martial Powers project. We're going to work on giving kits of power to a Beholder and an Ancient Red Dragon specifically. And then we're going to probably work on magic items a little bit, and maybe shorten down, like help scaffold out, like outline what exactly we want to have in the DM section, because examples in the DM section is pretty much the only thing that we have left to do with the Martial Powers project, other than just refine. But so far I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm slow baking it, like super slow, so it doesn't get bunched up behind these projects already. So, but I'm enjoying how slow we're cooking that. So anyway, that's where we're at for now. I'm gonna go ahead and cut here. I'll be back in 4 hours for 2 or more hours, and then we'll be back this evening in 11 hours. So we'll be back in 4 hours for Martial Powers, 11 hours for Spelljammer. And then we'll be back again tomorrow morning in 21 and a half hours to continue this again. So if you're new and you're just kind of lurking, thanks a lot for checking in with it. Like and subscribe, and just check out some of the other playlists. So I'll see you guys in a little while, and talk to you then.